Yo, 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 we live on location. Me and the Blackest One back at y'all with a tap in, and this one is a finals preview, y'all. We finally here. That long week of waiting is over. We could rub hands like Birdman together and get ready for a big finals game one tonight. You got the Celtics and the Mavericks in Boston. Game one tonight, Black. This is how we got here. The Celtics are 64-18, the best team in basketball during the regular season. They handled their business with the Miami Heat in Series 1, 4-1. Cavs in series in round 2, 4-1 again. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, they brought them brooms out for the Pacers, man. Then you got the Mavs. The Mavs went 50-32. One of the best teams since the trade deadline when they acquired Big Boy Gafford and P.J. Washington at the trade deadline. They got those boys finished pretty cool during the regular season. First round, they beat the Clips at our beloved Clippers, took them down 4-2. Round 2, handled the young and thugging OKC 4-2 again. Western Conference Finals, they get Minnesota 4-1. Almost a sweep, but we gonna say gentleman's sweep. So they didn't have the much harder road. That's what they're gonna say. The Celtics had injuries in every series and blah blah blah. They say the Mavs had to fight a little harder to get here. Black, tell me what you see in this series and why do the Celtics pose different problems from the other teams that they played out there in the West for the Mavs?
I feel like the Celtics has been the best team in the league all year. I feel like they probably have the best starting lineup in the league. You know, their record speaks for itself. You know, only 18 losses, so that's a whole lot of winning when you only got 18 losses. You know, they went months without, a few months that they didn't have a loss or maybe one loss. Man, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum leading the charge. They might have Porzingis back, which is even more threat.
Oh, he back. He's back.
If he's healthy,
he's back out there.
If he's healthy, to move around like how he was moving around when he was playing. So, it's a mountain to climb for Dallas.
Can the Celtics finally get it done, bro? They like Tatum, Brown. This duo has been to the finals before. They've been 2 years ago, lost to the Warriors. And then they've been knocking on the door right there close with this group, and not this group, but with those two and different guys around them. They got different coaching staff, different players than previous years. But can they? What do you think? Can they break through this year and get it done?
They do got a chance. I think they got a chance to get it done. It's been set up for them to win it. People don't realize that last year when Denver won it, every team they played didn't win 50 games. They they played against teams that wasn't over 50 game winning teams. And that was rare in the playoffs. You usually run into somebody who won more than 50 games or 60 games or something like that. But they played that. So I look at it like the Celtics too, It's just the road that this is the cards that it was dealt. But this Dallas team is going to be very hard for them to beat. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Celtics coach, but, he's going to really have to coach. Because I feel like this Dallas team is clicking on all cylinders. I feel like everybody on their team know what they're supposed to do out there. They don't do nothing out of body. They play a certain way. And Luka and Kyrie is really going to be a problem. And because you can't afford to put Jaylen on Luka. You can't afford to put Tatum on Luka. You can't afford to put Jaylen on Kyrie and all that stuff because they can particularly
Who gonna guard them then?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna put White and
They're
Holiday.
gonna have to see some of that time. They're gonna have to see some of that
Yeah, but not
time.
as much because they'll put them in foul.
Yeah,
trouble.
I mean, obviously they not the main guys to guard them, but there has to be
it's gonna be some
several
switches
and multiple times.
It's gonna be some switches here and there, but the main guys is matching up with them is White and Holiday, and I think that's gonna be a problem.
I agree with that.
They don't have nobody to put no length on Kyrie, and Luka. They don't have nobody on their bench. They don't have nobody.
I disagree. Now, I will say this. I don't know, even though these guys, Derek White got length. He's a long, wiry guard defender. I think he will probably be the one who starts off initially guard. Now, listen, I'm not saying that he's going to succeed or do extra well at guarding Kyrie, because everybody knows that's a hard task. But what I'm saying is that I do believe tonight, game 1, you'll see Derek White start the game guarding Kyrie. You'll see Drew Holiday, the stronger of the two, guarding Luka.
He's supposed to.
Like, as far as like, yeah, but no, what I'm saying, you just said, I don't think they have anybody with length. Like, Derek White is the prime guy.
A guard. He's a guard. He's not a length. I'm talking about taking a small forward or a big 2 guard and putting them on Luka or Kyrie. They don't have that in their arsenal.
But I don't think that's all the way necessary. Like, first of all, like I said, I'm gonna lead by saying Kyrie gonna do what he do against whoever in the whole league. Him and Luka, all 4 of these guys, they average to average. They gonna do what they do against most matchups. From Kyrie to Luka to Jalen to Jason. That's what they do. That's why they all NBA guys. But what I'm saying is, like, Derek White is the prototype what you would want to try and guard a Kyrie. That don't mean he's gonna do well, but I'm talking about he's a 6'4" type guard, wiry, and he's one of their best defenders. Now, he's not the strong guy. That's Drew. That's why I say they'll start Drew on Luka. But I definitely think the Boston Celtics, they feel as confident as anybody could feel, saying we got Derek White to throw on them. We could switch him and Drew up a little bit. Then Jason and Jalen are going to have to be involved. And some of them other guys are going to have to be involved. But, I mean, if I go into a series knowing I got a Derek White level defender for Kyrie, and I got a Drew Holiday level defender for Luka to start off on, or, switch them up either which way, that's almost as confident as you could get guarding them, knowing that you got 2 guys that aren't your superstar guys, that I could play them, and all 4 of these guys can play together, and this ain't going, the switches are going to happen, and Jalen and Jason are going to get some of that, but like you said, the focal point, the guys who going to take the brunt of that, that's Derek White, Drew Holiday, and I feel like if I'm Boston, I feel that as confident as any other team in the league going into a series saying that I got these 2 dogs that could guard them 2 killers. Now, that don't mean that them 2 killers ain't going to win. They going to win some matchup, but I feel like, this ain't going to be about shutting Luka down, shutting Kyrie. That's going to be about getting timely stops at the right time and making plays at the right time. And I think both of them dudes are as equipped as anybody to do that.
Like I said, they don't have no lengthy guys to guard or to switch on Kyrie and Luka.
Everybody ain't gonna be 6'8" and 12-foot wingspan like you, Black. They can't do that.
Can I
finish
saying what I'm saying?
Kyrie anyway. We might put you on Luka, not Kyrie.
Can I finish saying what I'm saying? Celtics don't have no lengthy guys. They don't have no lengthy guys or long guys like Jaden McDaniels or bigger guards to guard them. Them guys are kind of similarly the same height as them. So I'm just saying they don't have no guy, like if they had Derrick Jones Jr., be like, oh, we're going to put Derrick Jones Jr. on Luka or something like. They don't have that because the guys that they do have like that are the premier guys in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
I agree with
so
that.
They can't really put no guys on. They don't have nobody on the bench to come off the bench to really guard them guys or none of that. So I feel like the matchup is just going to base down to White and Holiday having to guard these guys. You get a few switches here and there, but the other end too. Let's say on the other end, with Jalen and Tatum, like you have PJ guarding Tatum, you probably going to have Derrick Jones Jr. guarding Jaylen Brown. Dallas really don't have no other guys either to guard them once they not on them no more. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of go hand in hand with each other on the scoring tip. So I think it's just gonna break down to who play the best. They kind of match up well with them. I think it just breaks down to who play the best.
Do you think the Celtics try to go at Luka on the defense, on Luka's defensive end, like trying to, because like that's one of the things you should do to big time scorers, put them in positions where they have to, put forth energy on the defensive end. So you think that's gonna be something that the Celtics try to do with them two big wings and Jason and Jalen, using them to try and get them in matchups against him?
I think if they focus on that, they pushing it. I feel like Jalen and JT is capable of winning a matchup just straight heads on with Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ. So I feel like them going out their way to try to get Luka in the switch on JT or in the switch to Jalen is just you pushing the narrative a little bit much. I feel like that's an adjustment in the series. Like I feel like the Celtics, they need to make more of a decision whether what they're going to do on the screen and roll with Kyrie and Luka. Is you going to trap? Is you going to dig? Is you going to show? Because you need to make a decision to know how your tempo. I think Timberwolves, they got lost in the sauce. 1 minute they was trapping, 1 minute they was digging, 1 minute they was switching. You know what I'm saying? You can't switch Al Horford on to Luka. We're going to see another Rudy Gobert. You're going to be getting cooked. You can't switch Al Horford on to Kyrie.
Big Al can't go out there, but he moving them puppies a little bit different. He
it's
ain't
gonna look the same.
Around that bad, but he's still gonna get done up though.
Yeah, it's gonna look the same. So it's not gonna be pretty if they switching like how they usually switch. And so they shouldn't switch Al Horford. So I think the biggest decision with them is like what they're gonna stick to and what everybody understand how we gonna handle this pick and roll. Is we gonna handle this pick and roll and make him give it up to the big man and make them make a play, which they got a good big man and knowing how to make the play because Lively know what he's doing once the guard gets trapped at the top of the key off the screen. So I think that's the biggest decision for the Celtics. Everything else they should just stay and see what they've been doing has been working all year. So I feel like that's the biggest decision on offense that they need to see.
All of the sound and everything we've been hearing from the practices and since the finals been announced about Kyrie going back to Boston, and it seemed like he's done some maturing and growing up over the time since he left and since the instances when he had come back there in the crowd and the different things that was going on between him and the crowd. Like, how do you think that's going to play a part in this series or have any effect on Kyrie or just telling from how he's been talking and how he seems like he's grown and matured, it won't be a big deal at all to him?
I feel like the Celtics fans need to be very, very careful. Just like he had motivation when Anthony Edwards said that stuff in that interview, he has motivation now because he's coming in with a better team. He coming in with a superstar. Like when he came in with Brooklyn last time they played in the playoff, he didn't have no KD. It was just him. The team wasn't on all cylinders. You know what I'm saying? They weren't playing well. They just made the playoffs. But this time he coming in with a well-oiled machine. And sometimes when you poking that bear, like we seen last series, he'll come out aggressive. I look at Kyrie coming out super aggressive first quarter, trying to get his groove early. Because I feel like it's motivation there for him to beat them. Like, if anybody in the league want to beat the Celtics in the finals, I think Kyrie Irving is the guy that I have first on the list to want to beat them. So I think
second on that list might be Porzingis.
Vice versa too, though. You're right, though. If anybody want to beat Dallas in the finals, I feel like
he want his get back
I feel like
too.
It's Porzingis. So I feel like it's either way. But if anybody want to beat the Celtics and looking for any inch of motivation from anybody, it's Kyrie Irving. And, you got to watch how you poke that bear because you might really wake that bear up.
Our homeboy, our young fella, JT, right? They've been on him. He's been under the microscope this postseason. It's been talk and rhetoric back and forth, and he's been a hot button topic to talk about during this time. And you see him responding in the pressers and stuff like that. In your opinion, Black, what does he need to do to tell everybody to shh, just be real quiet? Just how does he shut everybody up and tell everybody to simmer down?
What he did last series, it went over people's head, but it's only two people in conference finals history that ever averaged 30, 10, and 6. And that's LeBron James and that's Jason Tatum. I know Jalen won MVP, but It's only two people whoever averaged them type of numbers in the conference finals.
And he was the fifth guy to lead in every. He was the fifth guy ever to lead his team in rebounds, points, and assists.
Yeah.
Lead in the playoffs
Yeah,
too.
I think he's doing a lot more other stuff this year. Like I like this season, I actually like the way he played, like how he adjusted his game, and I feel like it showed because he had Jaylen Brown averaging he was averaging 23, 24 points a game. Porzingis was averaging 20. Then you had Holiday and White, they averaging 15 apiece. Them a lot of points. Like if last the year before that he was averaging 30. He had to tone his points down and start doing other things. He's been guarding power forwards all. He's been guarding power forward like players all playoffs. He's playing a new position. I feel like he adjusted his game well, but in this series, he has to have a consistent 30. They need a consistent 10 rebounds for him. They need them 6 assists that he brings to the table. Them the type of stats that he have to put up consistently for them to win this championship. But you know, with all championships, it's somebody who sticks out. Because Luka is over there averaging 33, 9, and 9. And if he continues to average 33, 9, and 9, it's a real problem going on.
My thing about JT is I want aggressiveness. Like you said, his numbers and everything. Like I just feel like he has lows through the game where he's not as aggressive. But when he's aggressive, that's when you see everything. Because I can deal with Jason Tatum's aggressiveness because I know, like you just said, he's adjusted his game. When he's being aggressive, that don't mean that he's shooting every ball. That's how he's getting 5 assists, by being aggressive, drawing and seeing and making the right play and kicking it to people and doing that. All I want is aggression. Now, I'm not saying that you guys shoot every ball, but when you in aggressive mode and you in kill mode and you getting into the paint, you getting into the lane, you getting to the line, and then you doing your thing, like that's the Jason Tatum I want to see out there.
Yeah.
We got to talk about JB. You know what I'm saying? Jaylen Brown is the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals, and he is as important as Jason Tatum is, as he's shown, and that duo has shown. It's a yin and yang. They both need the other one to be, to gain their full powers.
Just one thing I'm confident in JB is, like, he trained to go. Like, that's just been him since he got in the league. He's going to put it all on the line because his mentality is that. He has a mentality to just go to work, and he going to go, whether it's good or bad. He going to go. He don't know nothing else. That's one thing I know for sure with him. And they just got to watch that. But I feel like Derrick Jones Jr. been doing great jobs on teams' best players. Like, he's been playing Paul George. He done played Shea. He done played Anthony Edwards. He had a lot of talent that he's been playing in these playoffs, and I feel like he's been doing a decent job, and he be keeping them honest on the offensive end by hitting the open corner 3. So I think Jay Brown is just gonna do what Jay Brown always do. He's just always been an aggressive player, and he's gonna be aggressive.
Shaq like to call them the others, the you know what I'm saying, the rest of the cast. When you talk about the depth, the Drew Holidays, the Derek Whites, the Porzingis, Al Horford, PJ, Lively, Derrick Jones Jr., Exum, like, who do you see, who do you identify after, well, if you had to call a Mavs player not named Kyrie or Luca, who you got stepping up and doing it big this series?
On the Mavericks side, I think Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington is the guys who's the other guys that's stepping up, that's gonna step up big. I feel like them open threes, them corner threes they've been getting, they be hitting them tip ins or them lob dunks from either one of them is very big on their end. I feel like on the Celtics side, that 15 and 15 you get from White and Drew Holiday, it really hurts when Jason and Brown is doing their thing. Them pull up threes in transition, White be hitting, and them timely buckets that Holiday be hitting, whether he posting up or whether he ain't shoot a 3 the whole game and all of a sudden he shoot one and bang and score. Like, them are very scary. and because they capable of getting more than 15 points any given night. So I think on one end is the Drew Holiday and White. On the other end, I think how Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ play.
When I'm looking at the others, man, I look at kind of like Drew Holiday and Derek White. I feel like those guys have been consistent, and you can kind of expect it. I'm looking at the X factors for both teams, man. I'm looking at Porzingis and Al Horford, and then I look at Lively and Gafford. I feel like those guys is gonna be like kind of like the difference makers down the stretch, because I feel like the other guys, like you said, we've come to expect what we expect from Derek White, Drew Holiday, from Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington. Even however little or much, those guys have been pretty consistent throughout these playoffs. But I feel like when Lively went out that one game, that was how Minnesota picked up the win, because they didn't have him in the middle being what he is and having Gafford coming off the bench to do what he do. And I think those four guys are going to be huge. Like how healthy and how impactful Kristaps Porzingis is going to be a huge deal in this series. Whether he can be available and look like he can play and be have his conditioning up and still be a 20-point player. So I think those guys are gonna make the difference in the depth chart for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
If we had to say a key matchup, right? What's a key matchup you think the Mavs got to take advantage of, and vice versa for the Celtics too?
The Mavs got to continue to win the 1-2 matchup. You know, they've been really dominating ones and twos. Like even with Shea, they played against arguably one of the best guards in the game. The Clippers series and OKC series, and they dominated them matchups. So they got to continue to dominate that 1 and 2 in high fashion, how they've been doing. I think they've been averaging 60-something points together. They got to win that matchup. With the Celtics, the same thing, I think the biggest thing of both things, your superstars got to do your superstar stuff for you to have a chance to win any game. And any of your superstars don't show up that night or so forth on, the other team got a better chance of winning. So one thing for sure you got to do, your superstars got to do what they do. Because then if your superstars don't do what they do, you depending on somebody else to pick up that slack, and that can push it, So superstar got to do what they do for them to win this series every night, win or lose. Right, because I feel like if you look at the one game that Dallas lost to Minnesota, when Kyrie didn't get 25 or more points, I think he had like 18 points or something like that. Even Luka didn't get the 30-some points, the 33, 34 points he got. He got 28. Dallas won that game. Dallas lost that game. But if you look at all the other games they won, Kyrie had a good 25 or more points. Luka had a good 30 or more points. That's consistently, you got to put them numbers up regardless. Like, you remember them back in the day with Mike. One thing we know we was finna get out of Mike, we getting 35. Win or lose. We getting 35 points. Yeah. Like, you got to, as your superstars, you got to consistently put that up, because that's the reason you got here, and that's the chance that you get to win. Same thing on the other end. JT and Jaylen Brown has to put them big numbers up. And if they don't put them big, if one of them put big numbers up and the other one don't get what they supposed to get, I probably bet my money that they lost that game.
Tell me this: when you look at the from the coaching aspect, J Kidd versus Joe Mazzulla, what you see there?
I'm not a big fan of Mazzulla. Nothing against him or nothing like that. Some of the strategies that I see out there with their team, it'd be like, why they doing that? You know what I'm saying? You got 4 guys. It should be etched in stone that, man, we got 4 guys that can switch anything they come into. You should never switch with your big man at Al Horford on these type guards. Or some of his strategy just be off to me. I don't like how they shoot as many threes as they shoot. But that's just me, But Jason Kidd, he's one of the smartest minds in the game ever. And he figures stuff out.
Cold with it.
Like the decision making and stuff. I feel like that helps when you put that and mix that in with a Kyrie and Luka. Man, that's Professor X and X-Men helping out Wolverine and Cyclops. You know what I'm saying? Like it just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, my opinion is it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I got to go with J Kidd on the coaching matchup.
Me too. J Kidd all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Predictions, Black. What you got? Who's gonna win? How many games? And who the MVP? And who's your dark horse MVP?
This is tough for me. This is very
so
tough.
I don't even know what I'm gonna say right this moment as I'm sitting here. I still don't know.
This
what
is
I'm
very
say.
tough for me. This is very tough for me because I want so bad.
I almost want to see the first game first.
Yeah, I do too. But I want so bad for Jason to win the championship.
Exactly.
I feel like he deserved it. He put the work in since he got to the league. He carry
Let's
himself.
just be real, that's fam. So
he carry himself like a champion. You know, he deserved to be a champion. I want Jason to win bad. But I gotta say, man, with Jason Kidd and Luka and them, how they playing, they team just look different. And one thing I heard previous champions say, your team gotta be clicking on all cylinders, and you gotta be together, and you gotta have a little bit of luck. And I feel like Dallas it kind of marked off all them boxes. You know what I'm saying? This year. They look like how Denver looked. They looked like it was them against the world. And they went all the way to the championship and won. And Dallas give me that vibe. I don't know if it was the matchups or whatever it was, but Dallas give me that vibe that they gonna win this year. But I want JT to win the championship, but who I think gonna win it, I think Dallas gonna win it. I kind of called it from the start of the playoffs. So I'm gonna just stick with what I initially said. I call this championship to be Celtics and Dallas, and I think it's gonna be Dallas winning it. I think we're gonna get 6 games out of this. I don't think it's gonna go 7. I think we're gonna go 6 games. I think the last game probably be in Dallas.
I definitely want a 7-game series, regardless. I want a 7-game series. But my heart, I gotta go with JT. I gotta go with the fam. I want to see Jason Tatum. Not, nothing against the other guys. I got much love for, Dallas Kidd and Kyrie and Luke and all them boys over there. But fam is fam. I gotta go with JT and the C's. But I wouldn't be surprised, like you say, if Dallas get it done. This is that type of series. I feel like it go either way, so I wouldn't really be surprised. But I'm with you with the Jason. I want to see him win. I want to see him get the title. I got him as my MVP for winning, and the dark horse obviously is Jaylen Brown. But I do have Porzingis back there in the waiting in the wings. If he could stay healthy, he could be the difference in this whole damn thing. The little Dallas thing and all of that. I think Porzingis, he could be a big X factor if he really on his shit. So that's my prediction. I got Beantown, the C's winning it, and I got Baby J as the MVP. And those my dark horses. Random stat of the week, Black. The winner of this year's final will be the 6th different team to win a title in the last 6 seasons, tying the longest streak in NBA history. What you think about that, Black? It sounds like we got that parity that everybody been looking for, and this kind of like the playing field been leveled. I think Commissioner Silver and the front offices and the NBA offices did a good job. Trying to put everything in play with the salary caps, with everybody being able to get max players and things like that. And I feel like we at a place right now. Like when we talked earlier during the playoffs, talking about the tap in, we didn't really have a great feel because we felt like anybody could beat anybody, and it wouldn't be like some huge shock if this team beat that team. And like now you look at it, you got a Dallas team who wasn't the top seed in the finals, and nobody's like shocked or looking at it like it's crazy. How could this happen? So I think this speaks to what the league has done and the moves they've made with the in season tournament now being a huge thing, with the play-in tournament assuring that down the stretch of the season and closing out the season, the guys aren't going to be resting and fans going to be able to get to see their favorite players and watch guys and get to put eyes on them. So I think this just speaks to all of the moves that they've been making as a league, and it's an improvement.
Yeah, I definitely do. Last year we seen a team who hasn't won a championship, take their name off the list of winning one. This year, seen a team in Dallas, a team that's kind of got built within the season to go to the championship. It's a good thing. I see everything. I want to see that transcending player that's gonna dominate. Who's gonna be the first team to go back to back? And and you got the option for that now, since a different team than won it every year. Man, who's gonna be dominating? Who's gonna focus in? Because it takes a lot of focus. As much as we say anything, man, when you seen Shaq and Kobe go to 4 finals in a row, play all the way to June, it took a lot of focus for them teams to get to that point. When Michael Jordan them did it, when San Antonio did it, being in the mix, going every other year. Like, you take a lot of focus for you to be a team to get to them levels. And we're just gonna see who's gonna break the ice of, like, because it's gonna come to a point where, man, too many people getting rings. It's time to shut some of that down. And I think we're gonna get a guy that's gonna be focused and laser and gonna laser in on, like, I want all of them. I don't want nobody else to have some. So I think it's coming, but it's good for now.
All right, give me a shout out of the day.
Man, my shout outs today is man, the WNBA. I know I done said this, like, man, 3 tap ins in a row, but man, I'm loving the physicality. I'm loving the hoop, the aggression of it. I'm loving how it's so easy to access a WNBA game these days, man. It's like I almost haven't missed one. Every time they show them on TV, they all over TV. The coverage they getting, whether it's good or bad, I feel is great for the league. I'm excited for these women. Um, I look forward to this season. This is gonna be another good season in it. Man, shout out to Asia Wilson. She's dominating right now. She's the first player to have
Killer
30, 10, and 5 in a WNBA game. And man, you seeing it, it's going up. So man, shout out to the WNBA. Keep doing your thing.
Man, my shout out is to our brothers Matt and Stack over at All the Smoke. You know what I'm saying? And to the city of Shy, we did a collab with them this past couple days. Got in the shot with them, did a live show, man. The city came out, showed out. It was a dope show, man. Shout out to Twan Walker for pulling up, joining us on stage, man. He one of the pillars in the city of Chicago, man. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of started this thing a few months ahead of All the Smoke, and man, we've been like running parallel with them for the whole time. And those are brothers, for those out there that don't know. So, you know what I'm saying, for them to extend that to us, to come out there to my city of Chicago, and then the city showed up like that. It was something that was long overdue, that we definitely was planning to do a collab and get together. But everything happened when it's supposed to happen, man. And we was at the crib. The crib was lit. The venue was dope. Everything went like it was supposed to, man. The city showed up and showed out. It was all fun. So shout out to them boys, All the Smoke and they crew, whole crew, the team and everybody that put it together. It was a dope event. So salute to y'all boys. Keep killing it.
Hold on, I got one more shout out, man.
Hey, Black got a double entendre.
Shout out to the Mavs ownership. They have a black woman CEO and they have a black man as a GM. Yeah. They the only organization in the NBA that has this combination. Shout out to Nico. I think that's very dope, man. The front office is moving for them to be running and pulling the buttons and getting to this point, man. Congratulations to them.
Shout out to Nico for that extension. You know what I'm saying? He just got that extension. Shout out to the Mavs organization for doing the right thing and acknowledging the good thing when you got it and taking care of them and giving that extension right away. So salute to them, man. Salute to you, Nico. Keep doing your thing. And yo, man, yeah. Finals preview, game one tonight. We gonna be tapping back in, getting at y'all throughout this whole finals. I hope it's a long finals too. I hope it's as long as this wait we had to wait for the finals to start. So, knuckleheads out. We'll be back.